Welcome back, everyone. So, we are ready for our next tutorial with Java. In this one, I'm going to concentrate on computing expressions in Java. And additionally, we are also going to take a look at basically the difference between program styles and documentation. Basically, coding in bad style and coding in good style. So that's important, especially if you're going to be coding professionally, or even if you're doing this for a project. You want your code to look good, standard, nice, and readable. So let's get started. So we're going to start with basically computing expressions. Now, what I mean by that is basically doing, arithmetic or math like addition, subtraction, and all that good stuff. So we're just going to use our console to write out. So we're going to do system.out. Well, before I get into that really quick, I just want to show you an example of what bad code is. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to show you basically documentation. Now, it's important to basically have some sort of documentation on your in your code, and you can actually use java.comments, where you basically comment your code just so if anybody else is reading it, it's easily understandable. Now I'm not going to do that in all my code, but just to show you an example, if I'm starting off this project, right? So I'll do this, and I'll say who the author is. In this case, it's going to be me, and then I'll write a brief description of what this project is about. Okay? And then before I continue on, what I'd want to do is I would want to indicate what I'm doing on the line. So I'm going to do, right here, I'm going to do print a math expression to the console. So that's somewhat like JavaDoc, like documentation and documenting your project. Okay, now bad style and good style. Now, an example of bad style would be if I'm writing out a statement, right? If I'm writing out a statement, and let's say I'm doing addition, so I can do like 3 plus 42 plus 36. So this would be an example. Let me actually comment that out of bad style coding. Alright, now the good version of this would be like so, spaced out and very easily legible, as you can see. So that's basically what it means to have a bad style and good style of coding. Now, additionally, you also have different block styles. What that means is, for example, you see how I have my method here, and then I have the opening bracket and the closing bracket. Now in this case, I have the opening bracket right here after my statement, or after my method declaration, and then I have the closing bracket here. This is called end of line style. Now, if I want to do what we call next line style, I would actually put this bracket like so. Gonna close these spaces up, and this bracket like so. Now this is called next line style. Now it's not really good or bad between these two. It's more of a preference. I prefer having end of line. I've just always coded like that, and it just looks more cleaner to me. And I like to put additional spaces between methods and classes, and different methods as well. So that's the difference between next line and end of line. So now you know a bit about bad style coding and the two different kinds of block styles. That's pretty much what you want to keep in mind. So always comment your code for projects or for professional coding, and try to write in good style code, which is here. So you want to keep everything spaced out and legible. And in terms of next line or end of line, do whichever one you would prefer. I prefer end of line, like so. Now we can get into computations. I'm just going to do a basic computation here, and I'm going to print it out to the console. So how the computation works is pretty straightforward. We have different signs that represent addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. So we have, very easy, the @ sign, which is addition, and then we have subtract sign, which is subtraction. This is pretty self-explanatory. And then we have asterisk, which denotes multiplication. And then we have this sign, division, which is division. Okay. Oh my god, I can't spell. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now, the order of which the math is processed is like PEMDAS, actually. So, and you know what PEMDAS is. Parentheses, you know, all that good stuff. I'm not going to go through it. But basically, if we write out here, I can explain it better if I write out the actual expression. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write out a basic computation expression, and we'll do it right here, and we'll print the answer out to the console. So we're going to do system.out.println. So you know what this means by now. We're basically printing something to the console here. Now, even though I'm going to do an expression inside this, it's going to print it out to the line as a string. But I'm not going to put the expression in quotations. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an expression here. So let's do 2.5, right? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually put this into parentheses, our first expression, 2.5. Let's do plus 2.5, okay, times 3, okay? And then we're going to close off this expression. And in addition to that, we're going to divide this by, let's do, I don't know, let's see. Divided by 2 minus 3. Okay, very simple expression. Now, as you can see, this is actually somewhat a notation of a mixture of bad style and good style, because I have things that are together and apart. So basically, how do you want to keep it is, like, the parentheses are okay, but expressions, when you're writing them out like this, you want to keep it spaced and easily legible, like so. So this looks much better. So now if I run this, it'll actually compute what's in the parentheses first. And that makes sense. 2.5 plus 2.5 is... Guys, hello? Oh, wait, yeah, what am I saying? You can't respond, but 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5, times 3 is 15. Divided by... What's 2 minus 3? Come on. What's 2 minus 3? I'm just messing with you guys. Okay, so you get the point. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Wait a second. Something is not right here. Why is it negative 10? Negative 1. 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5 times 3 is 15. You know what? Let me do this first here. Let's make sure it is printing out correctly. Unless my math is off. Oh my god, my math is off, guys. Wait, no it's not. Why am I freaking out here, guys? Okay, so I kind of did that on purpose. Now, the reason why it's not coming up as 15 and instead it's coming up as 10 is because the rule of PEMDAS. So it's doing the multiplication first and then the addition. So that's why that's happening. So that's why it comes out to 10.0. Because the way that I was explaining it before is 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5, times 3 is 15. But that's not the case because multiplication goes first. And then we did the division after that, which equivalated to negative 1. And then we got a negative 10. So that's how computation works. Keep that in mind. When you're writing out a sequence or a expression for computation, the rule of PEMDAS does apply. It does not just go sequentially. Okay? So that's why you do the multiplication first, and then you do the addition, and then you do the subtraction here, and then you do the division. Right? And then you get your answer, which was negative 10. So that's how expressions work. I hope you guys got a good understanding of that, and I hope you guys understand bad style, good style, and remember to write out your notes. And don't forget java.comments like so. Don't forget what, if you're writing a lot of methods, you want to explain what the method is about. We'll get a little bit more into that later on. Now that's pretty much it for this portion of the video. And I did want to talk a little bit about like the way the code compiles for the computer, but I think I'm going to skip over that. But if you are interested, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make a separate tutorial for that. And next time, or the next video that I'm going to make is actually going to be about errors, like the different kind of errors that exist when you're coding and the errors that occur, and we'll go in depth into that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It takes you guys about a second, but it helps me out a lot. And if you subscribe, that would be wonderful. And I'll see you guys next time.